Now we're looking at the past progressive on page 20. This is also called the past continuous in some other books. We use past progressive to talk about something that was in progress at a particular time in the past. So we were still studying at 9 o'clock last night is an example of how you would use that. And we also, and especially we use the past progressive to talk about something in progress when another action took place. And when we do this, the past progressive is a longer action interrupted by a shorter action in the simple past. So I got my driver's license while I was living there. I was living there for a long time, and during that time, I got my driver's license. I was walking down Water Street when I heard footsteps behind me. So I was walking down Water Street for maybe an hour, half an hour. Suddenly, in the middle of that, walking down Water Street, I heard the footsteps behind me. And now pay attention to what happens with these verb tenses. This is very strange thing, but it's important for meaning. In this sentence, I have past progressive, and then I have the simple past. He was crying when he heard the news. This means he was crying and then he heard the news. So he was crying for a long action. In the middle of the time while he was crying, he heard the news. Or you could also say he heard the news while he was crying. However, when I say he cried when he heard the news, that's a different meaning. Okay? In this case, this action is first. The one after when is the first thing. And then the other clause is the second thing that happened. So first he heard the news, and then he cried. So the idea is that the news caused him to cry. Okay, we sometimes use the past progressive to seem less direct and more polite. This is something I don't think you need to worry about too much, but it is something you hear. So instead of are you looking for me, you could say were you looking for me? And it's really the same meaning, but this is more indirect and more polite. Okay, and then we have this construction, I'm wondering if, and then the past form as a very polite way to ask a question. So if I say, I was wondering if you needed some help, that's a very polite way to say, do you need some help? Or I was wondering if you wanted to go out tonight. It's a polite way to say, do you want to go out tonight? This is a polite way to ask someone for a date, perhaps.